Back now on Base Sunday, the East Bay Express called it the best new space for tots. It's called Lotus Bloom. It's a child and family resource center, and it's aimed at empowering families to live in harmony and to be proud of who and where they come from. Its executive director wanted to give the city of Oakland a little bit of a lift, not to mention a whole lot of hope that we can all work together. Gives the kids a nice jump start, too. The programs are getting rave reviews. Got over 200 kids, I guess. Please welcome Angela Louie Howard. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for
having me. Good to have you here. So how were you inspired to put this all together?
Well, it was a huge community need. When I was getting involved in my neighborhood about 6 years ago, we found out that 86% of the third graders were not testing and reading at grade level. And the kindergarten teachers were reporting that all the kids were coming in with no preschool or early learning background. And so we wanted to do something about that. We started as a 15-week free Saturday morning playgroup program. And in those first 15 weeks, we had 57 families come through.
Goodness.
And now we've expanded to first 3 sites and then now to 5 sites.
Now, are you just blown away how this thing has grown? Or just so very happy that it's grown, I guess I should say?
I'm very happy that it's making an impact on the children and the families, and that people see that this is a need and that people want to do something about it. I don't think there's a greater motivator than your children. Yeah. And people will come out and despite the fact that they may not have had a education, they want to give that to their children.
And I was going to say, it must do a lot for the parents because, you know, some of these parents maybe can't put them in nursery school or don't have the resources to do some of these things, and they can drop them off, you know, for these classes and arts and crafts. And what else do they do?
They do socialization. We have a program with Lawrence Hall of Science where they do science classes. We do a bunch of math. We do a bunch of physical activities and dance, yoga, drumming. We really try to celebrate the heritage and the culture that is in Oakland. Our neighborhood is really diverse. It's about 36% Asian, 18% Latino, 18% African American, 12% white, 5% other.
So you got a melting pot there.
We sure do.
Well, tell us this. What about your background? What was it that got you? Did you work with kids prior to this, or was this something a complete 180 for you?
No, I worked for a family resource center here in San Francisco, and I grew up in a lot of public programs that were offered to me, and I came here as an immigrant in this country and lived in the Bayview Hunters Point neighborhood, and so I had to really connect with the different cultures and transform the relationships that were existing in our community, because it was mostly violence that was happening, and I really wanted to create a safe place where people can come together to connect and to share resources with one another. And
this has been going on 5 or 6 years, so you've seen some of these kids that really didn't have a lot of education and help prior to kindergarten. Now they're 5th, 6th graders. Do they come back? Do they say, hey, check us out, Angela, or do they come back and help, or what?
I've run into them sometimes. They're still fairly young. They're mostly like in 2nd and 3rd grade right now, and it's just great to see. I mean, I get a lot of positive feedback from the parents, and what happens is the parents or the grandparents who brought their child comes and volunteers at our center. So they'll help prepare food at a block party or make food for our fundraisers, that sort of thing.
Now, you're a nonprofit, right?
Yes, we are.
So for the most part, do people volunteer to help?
People volunteer to help. We have 8 staff members, but we certainly need, you know, as much support as possible. And
has Oakland kind of stepped up a little bit, finding that this program is here to stay, and it's been a huge success, I would hope?
There's certainly some support for it, and certainly we're very small, and so we need to get the word out so folks can learn more about us and support us in any way possible, whether that's joining a board, putting on an event, or donating to us.
Well, we'll give that website a plug in just a moment, but are you surprised how it's grown?
I am. I'm surprised and inspired, and I just feel really committed to the work.
Can you give us a story of a kid that might have gone through the program that, you know, that certainly don't give up on a youngster that age, but just needed some help, and through the program has just really blossomed, so to speak?
Certainly. We had this little boy who came into our program named Ryan. He came in when he was about 1 year old, and he could not separate from his mom. And he had some other issues. I think he was a preemie baby, and so he was just very isolated, and he didn't want to play with anyone. He only wanted to hang on to his mom. And to see the progress 6 months later, where he is playing by himself in the kitchen, saying to a kid, eat, eat. And so just watching them grow through the months from being only clinging to mom to being able to form friendships and relationships with other adults is incredible.
And I love the name, and Lotus Bloom, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, but where did that come from?
The lotus flower grows in water and mud, and what we're saying is in a rough city like Oakland, where we're often known for our crimes and violence, that there are these beautiful flowers, these beautiful gems that can grow out of tough places.
And it sounds like you guys are growing too. You need to expand a little bit, or is it's getting to that point, I would think, right?
Certainly, we are. We're limited in terms of our space, and so we're looking to grow our facilities. We're also looking to expand in East Oakland, where there is a huge need.
All right, Angela, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best. If you'd like to get involved, go to lotusbloomfamily.org. Stay right there. More Bay Sunday right after the break.